Good day, viewers of Public Access. My name is Dave McWilliams. I'm the host of today's show. It's the Franklin County Honor Guard Detail. And we're here with different members of the Honor Guard Detail. So we might have to switch back and forth because of COVID-19. We just have to make arrangements because we can't have more than 5 people in here at the same time, including me. I'm probably 1.5. So basically, we're here to get an update. And Admiral Ham is the first one I'm going to talk to. And Admiral, how you doing?
Very good.
And
I've had a few back problems, but otherwise good.
Oh, that's good that you're looking good. So let's talk about the Honor Guard and what they have accomplished since they've been in existence.
Well, we greatly appreciate you making this time available because I think this is a group of people who are really contributing to the community. As most people probably know, but those who honorably serve in the armed forces, upon their death, they are eligible to receive certain military honors, such as a firing squad, TAPS, an honor detail to stand by during the service, and any other appropriate service. The Army was tasked to provide this for all qualified members of the armed force. But as time went by, their funds were cut and their manpower was cut. Then it was turned over to the Guard. And they performed the same service, and then they got caught up with restricted people and minimum amount of money. So this particular honors was oftentimes lacking at the veterans' funerals, which was most upsetting because when an individual joins the armed forces, they certainly don't join to give their life for the country. But that is understood, that anybody in the armed forces, if required, will give his or her life to the country. That's a pretty significant thing. You don't run like that in civilian establishments. So several of us were sitting around talking about this, and we came up with the thought of, let's see if we can get the veterans to volunteer and organize into a honor detail. Thus was formed, as you see there, the Franklin County, Vermont Honor Detail. And these people work closely with the funeral directors and the families to determine if they would like to have this group perform at their spouse or their loved one's funeral. And so far to date it's been most successful. And Homer will be addressing this shortly. But I do want to stress the fact that these members have given their time on any situation, not at their convenience, to ensure our veterans provide the appropriate honors. Of course, this comes with expenses for uniforms, ammunition, etc. And today we have been very fortunate in that the Rotary Club of St. Albans has sponsored this group initially and then per year. And just recently, the Episcopal Church in Swanton, Father Spanauer, has also significantly helped the detail. And also in the past, the Elks of St. Albans has also helped. I certainly want to thank these 3 organizations for understanding the importance of this ceremony. I must end up by saying that if anybody thinks this is worthwhile or not, all they have to do is attend one of the services and see the appreciative looks that the next of kin demonstrate when the men and the women are doing their honors ceremony. So I'm going to turn it over to Homer Weatherby, who's the NCO in charge of this detail. And Homer, thank you for all your work.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
very
you,
much.
Homer.
As the COVID has hit everybody, it's hit us too. We unfortunately had to stop doing our Army superiors told us to stop any activities. So we did as they said. We didn't perform any military honors. And from March to about the middle of June, we missed a lot of funerals. We were even told by the funeral directors that families were postponing the burial committals just so that we would be available. And unfortunately, it dragged on, and families just said, we can't wait any longer, we'll just go ahead and do the committal. We had a couple of members of the honor detail pass away. The first one passed away, and I asked for permission to do the military honors. I didn't receive any comment back, so I took it upon myself. I said, there's no way that we're not going to do military honors for one of our members. So we started doing them again. We did one member, and then 2 weeks later we did another member. And in doing so, I said, well, you know, we might as well continue doing our military honors. And the logic was, we're outdoors, we're 6 feet apart, we're wearing masks, so the only person that would be in any kind of jeopardy would be typically me, because I hand over the pouch that contains 3 empty shell casings to a family member. But that is a very short time. So we had discussion with the group, and everybody agreed that we'll just continue from then. So we missed about, I figure, about 20 to 25 funerals. And since we started up in June, we have done 25 military honors. And that brings our total, since we began this program in 2015, we have completed 164 military honors. So we're a member of a volunteer group of 9 people, and we are certainly looking for more people to join us and help us. Any age, you're welcome to come, whether you're a 2-year veteran or a military retiree. We'd welcome anybody to come. Later on, you'll hear about the requirements for joining this group, and what kind of training we get, etc.
You guys did my brother's funeral sometime in June, and someday I'd like to videotape it and do another show in the future so that people can see what the Honor Guard does, you know, and you're volunteers, you know, you don't get paid for this. You do it for the veterans that have served our country and gave their life.
Yeah, and you know, it's like Admiral Ham said, you can see the thanks just in the families' faces.
Oh yeah.
It's just, that in itself is a big reward for us, just knowing that we did something to make the family feel better.
Yeah. One time, Heels Funeral Home asked me to videotape a service, the honored detail, and his wife came up, and he was being buried up there in Franklin Cemetery. So Heels asked me to videotape it so that way the wife could see the whole funeral, you know, from start to finish. So that way, you know, it was like her being there, but she couldn't because she was in intensive care. So, you know, I was very impressed. You know, I've always been impressed with you guys. I think you do an honor to the veterans, you know, throughout Vermont, you know, and I appreciate, you know, the fact that you guys do it for our veterans.
Thank you very much.
So, Admiral, what else we want to talk about before I have to switch you 2 guys out and have 2 or 3 more come in?
Talk about what?
What else would you like to talk about, you know, as far as, you know, the honor detail?
Well, we have another section on the honor detail, and it's all the older people. Homer's young. But we have as many as 8 to 9 older people with the overseas cap, shirt and tie, blazer, and gray pants attend the funerals of the veterans and render an appropriate honor during the service. And once again, as Homer says, you just see the thanks. And it's, to me, I don't like to go to funerals, but it's extremely rewarding to see the appreciative looks on the families' faces. And also, you know, you can't help but envision maybe this was you, and you certainly appreciate somebody saying, hey, we thank you for what the heck you did and what you might have committed.
Well, I really appreciate you guys coming on today and talking about the Franklin County Honor Guard detail. I appreciate the fact that you volunteer, because, you know, volunteer is hard to find people that want to volunteer. So if you're looking for volunteers, is there an email address or is there a telephone number?
They can contact either myself, Homer Weatherby, at 524-7357. And when Danny comes, he can tell you what his phone number is.
Okay.
Danny Collins is the deputy commander, and he'll give you his phone number.
I also want to thank you, David, because you paid particular attention to the doings of the veterans. And without your support, we'd be in an unfortunate situation.
Well, I don't mind helping the American Legion or the Honor Detail at any time I can, you know, because my family was in the National Guard and my father was in the Army. So anything I can do, I will step up to help you guys any way I can.
There's one last point I'd like to make. There's so many good things that can be done in a community, such as this. So instead of sitting around and mumbling about it, Homer and I and a couple other guys, we sat down and what can we do? And then do it.
That's right.
Instead of procrastinating and
just rotting in a recliner, you know, and that doesn't do you any good. So if you're a veteran, they need help, volunteer for the Honor Guard, and so that'd be the best way to take up some of your time instead of sitting in a recliner. I'm going to give you another part of the Franklin County Honor Guard detail. And I'm going to start with Melody because she can talk more than I can.
I don't think anybody can beat you, Dave. Thank you for having us today. We are here to honor all of our vets that pass away, and when we go to funerals, there's no particular order, but in general, the gentlemen all do the firing, and I usually handle the bugle for taps. And we have anybody who wants to join us. It doesn't matter, you know, if you have a disability. I have a service dog that comes with us. Kamiko Lee is part as much as any other member of this unit. She comes to every funeral. She sits right beside us. Anybody who has service dogs can join. Anybody who has a disability, we can make all kinds of situations available, chairs or whatever is necessary to help any individual. As far as for females, unfortunately right now I'm the only female in the unit. We have in the past had another female that had joined. Working with these guys have just been absolutely terrific. They are gentlemen to the hilt. Always very respectable. They help in any manner. Everybody pulls their own weight. If they can help in any manner to make anybody's situation better, they do. I have never had a problem being with them or working with them, no matter what circumstances come up. We have details such as flags that we carry. So if anybody is not comfortable or can't carry a weapon, which is at this point kind of heavy, we can have them do flags. And we usually do the unit flag, and we also do the American flag. Whatever the service member's flag is, we try to get it at the funeral. We have, on our jackets, we have a big patch that covers all the services, the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine, and Coast Guard. We wear the jackets proudly to cover all the units. And of course now with COVID, we all have been given masks that match so that we're all safe, to keep every member safe. We also have a gentleman who gives a pouch that contains 3 spent shells to the family. If somebody can't stand too long and just would like to do that position, it's available. We also could use the seamstress that can make the pouches for us. We do have one that does a very good job, but we could always use others to help out.
The key word is volunteers.
Absolutely. We've got the positions, all we need is the bodies. Yeah,
Yeah.
so,
So now the gentleman to your right there.
Danny.
Yep. I'm Danny
Introduce
Collins.
yourself, sir, so that way the viewers know who you are and talk about whatever you want about the Honor Guard.
Sure, thank you. I'm Danny Collins. I've been with the Honor Detail since 2017. I was recruited by Bill, who will talk about recruiting. It's an honor to serve in this detail, to present the honors to the veterans that so richly deserve it. And I've been asked to read the Franklin County, Vermont Honor Detail mission statement, which sums it up quite well. The Franklin County, Vermont Honor Detail will provide military funeral honors for any eligible military veteran. This detail will present a proper and honorable military final salute to the deceased veteran. Military funeral honors will only be presented upon the request of either the funeral director or family. These honors can include a rifle salute, taps, U.S. flag folding, and the presentation of the flag to the family, as well as the pouch containing 3 spent shell casings to commemorate the military funeral honors. So I think that sums it up right well, what we do.
Yeah.
And we're talking about recruiting and getting members. We're supported by several agencies and donations, which is really needed because it costs anywhere from about $800 to $900 to outfit a member for the honor detail. Because we have, for instance, 2 winter shirts, long sleeves, 2 summer shirts, short sleeves, our jackets, our raincoats, our dress shoes, or our boots. So we ask that because of the expense, if somebody's willing to volunteer their time, we ask that they at least try to commit as much as they can for a year or 2, just for the expense.
I think it would be worthwhile that, you know, instead of staying at home and sitting in your recliner, like I said on the previous show, that do something that makes you feel good. Do something that will make you proud of what you're doing. And the Honor Guard is what it is. You guys did my my brother's funeral, and I want to give a check to the Honor Guard
Thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
David. We appreciate
because you
it.
guys do an outstanding job. That's in memory of my brother Gary McWilliams, who you did the service.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So over to you, Bill.
Okay, I'd like to talk a little bit about recruiting and what we've done in the past. We've had another one of these shows, was it 2 years ago?
About a year
I
ago.
believe, yeah. We've done a recruitment drive at 14th Star, and we'd like to do another one of those, but unfortunately, with the COVID, you know, we're unable to at this time. We have put articles in the paper, the Messenger, concerning what we do, and we're looking for new people. We also have a Facebook page. It's the Franklin County, Vermont, and that's abbreviated VT Honor Detail. It's open to the public. Anybody can go on to the page. We have our mission statement on there. We have a little history of how we got started and why. There's contact information. for anybody that is interested in joining us. And we have photos of what we do in the cemeteries and also from different events that we've been asked to provide a color guard for. So, you know, we try to get the word out there as much as possible. We would just need people to respond to it. I also have put notices at work. You know, I work for Citizenship and Immigration Services, and that's how Sean came into the unit, through one of my messages at work.
Well, that's good.
So, you know, like the other people have said, you know, we come out, see what we're like, see if you're interested in joining us. It only takes a little bit of your time. Of course, once you decide to join us, then it's a little bit more, but, you know, come down to one of our meetings sometime and talk with us.
Yeah, someday, you know, what I'd like to do in the spring is, if the family will okay it, I'd like to videotape, you know, the service plus do the honor detail.
Yeah.
I've done one in the past, but that was about 5-10 years ago. But, you know, and I'll personally give the family a copy of the DVD for them. So in the
Okay.
spring, you know, if we can get somebody to do it,
Yeah.
I'd like to videotape you guys.
Yep, yeah, that would be nice.
So, now you got a website?
Yeah, well, it's a Facebook page.
Okay, it's Facebook
Yeah,
page?
yeah,
How
so-
about a telephone number? That way, if people want to volunteer, you know.
Well, I have telephone numbers on the Facebook page, but if you call Homer Weatherby at 802-309-0273, he would be more than happy to talk with you.
He said you were going to give your phone number besides.
Danny will
was
give
my
his
number.
phone number because
Okay.
he's
Yeah,
the second in charge.
Okay, okay. So Sean, how do you like being on the honor guard?
I like it a lot. So when Bill reached out through the veterans emailing list at work and said, hey, we had 12 people and we're down to 6, and a red flag went off in my head for me because, you know, I grew up in this area, know a lot of the Vietnam veterans, watch them in parades all the way up until I was old enough to join the service, and then come back and still having a friendship with these folks that are considerably older than me. And when you see that there was only 6 people that are able to do these services, and like you said, you know, with your brother, if there was nobody there to do that, and that was my thought.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I was at the right time in my life. My kids are older now, and I thought that I could do this, and I want to do this. Not that I just can, but I want to. So I was able to come down and check out one of the first meetings, and everybody was cleaning rifles. So that was a familiar sight, of course. And really what I found out is how much in common, I think the only thing I don't have in common with the folks in this room is I'm considerably younger. So if some younger folks want to come out and hang out with us and kind of find out that I actually think Bill's like, he's younger than I am, really. We get along great, and that's what I'm really, you know, want to say, that we all get along really good. Everybody is pretty dedicated to this service and this volunteerism that we have. The camaraderie's been great, and the stories need to be shared, and we always find time. We've spent a lot of time together since I've joined back in July, and we spent a lot of time together, whether it be at services or we did some smaller donation type situation. We had a yard sale we did very well at, and really getting to know each other. Of course, I was very interested with handling like the M1 Garand. That was a service weapon that is well before my time, and that's very interesting. So when I first came on board, you know, I did a lot of the color duty, which is something that, you know, you forget how much you actually remember about that until you get a chance to you know, walk at attention and march with the flags, and then get a chance to observe and see what the more, you know, veteran members were doing. Then we went up to Danny's house and had probably a 8 or 9 volley practice, which was really fun, and having me stand in multiple positions in the parade line so I could see the more experienced members and how they operated and how they did it. And it's been really good. It's been really great.
So you feel as a younger person coming on, you feel like you're really part of the team.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, well, that's good, that's good. So, one of the things I want to talk about is how do they get in contact with you if a family member passes away? Does the funeral?
Usually the funeral home, they can ask the funeral home and they can get in touch with us many ways. That they have us on, I think, speed dial actually. But yeah, they can contact us and we're willing to do it anywhere in the Franklin County area. We've done it every day of the week. You know, we're kind of a family. Everybody here pulls for each other, and we will set aside some of our own family priorities, shall we say. If a funeral comes up and if somebody wants something done, we've done them at their home, we've done them at the funeral home, we've done them little cemeteries, big cemeteries. If you want us, we will be there. And of course, we also have the other side where, you know, we enjoy talking with the family, and a couple of us have done the flag folding and presented flags to the families. So we have that detail that we do. And, you know, we understand that the family really appreciates what we do, and that's why we do it, you know, so that we can honor the veteran, honor the family, and give back to the community.
Yeah.
So, and always, donations are very welcome anytime.
Well, at a lot of the funeral homes, they have a donation envelope. Do you guys have one there? So if they wanted to make donations at the funeral home?
They could put that down if, you know, they wanted it to go to the Franklin County, Vermont Honor Detail, and that would certainly help us out. I mean, we do our own transportation. We have to carry the weapons and the equipment at all times, and we very willingly spend our own gas or on our own vehicles, wear and tear. You know, we carpool since we're all
Around this
folk.
area?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we all get together and just do it. So, and we have good times. We have family times too. We do about every 3 months, we do a potluck. We all get together with our spouses or singles, whoever, it doesn't matter. And we just enjoy each other. Everybody brings a dish and, you know, chit-chat. And it's kind of our downtime, and it's bringing our families into our group too at the same time.
So if someone wants to make a donation, is there an address where they can send a check?
Danny's address.
Yeah, you can send it to my address at 21 Rocky Ridge Road, St. Albans.
And
Also give you my contact number.
yes.
You have Homer's. My number is area code 302-222-6924.
And any check, big or small, doesn't make a difference what it is. The honor detail will accept it.
David, we have gotten more checks and cash because of this member sitting in her outfit. Not that she was ever trained to do that, but when our commander calls the command for attention, she will sit up at the funeral and stay perfectly still and never move. She doesn't move during the volley. She doesn't move during the bugle. She doesn't move or bark when other dogs are around. And people just come over and can't believe that we accept her as one of our members, and they will give donations for her, you know,
Yeah.
for her, because her uniforms cost also, and, you know, they just do that to help us out.
There's a lot of animal lovers that are veterans, you know, and a lot of veterans have, you know, their guard dog, guide
Service
dog.
dogs.
And that makes a difference to
Yep.
a lot of the veterans, so.
It does. And we include anybody and everybody. You have a DD 214 and an honorable discharge, you and your service animal are definitely welcome.
I never got a chance to join the armed forces. When I was 12 years old, I fell off a 45-foot cliff and ruined both legs. So, but I appreciate and I honor you gentlemen and ladies for doing what you do and to actually help the families of the veterans that have passed away. So, Bill, did I miss anything you want to catch up on?
No, I don't think so. I would just like to add that, you know, it's been brought up, we are a volunteer group. We don't get paid for doing this, but our pay comes from the thanks of the family.
Yeah, that's very much so.
When, when the family walks up to you after the service with tears in their eyes,
Yeah,
that's all you need.
that's right. How about Sean, you got any closing remarks?
Young service members, I know life seems busy, but it really is it's another small sacrifice to do this, and it's actually a greater honor than anything. So please look us up and come on board.
Closing comments from Melody?
All I can say is thank you very much for your donation, and thank you for having us.
No
It's been a
problem.
pleasure.
How about Mr. Cullen?
Just want to take this opportunity to thank Northwest Access Television for spotlighting the Franklin County, Vermont Honor Detail. And to everybody out there, you get a lot out of it. Come help us serve.
To the viewers of public access, there's a lot of you out there, probably about 7,000 to 8,000 people. A donation, whether it's small or big, would help this organization out quite well. So you've heard the addresses, the telephone numbers. So make a donation before the end of the year and I'll make you feel real good. In closing, thank you very much to the Honor Guard for coming here and bringing us up to date. We'll do another show in the spring. Thank you, everyone.